This is our Ridglea Baptist Youth Week in Review for the week of Sunday, January 15th. Sanctity of Life Sunday. Let's do this, shall we? This morning we were discussing being made in God's image and what that means. Let's take a look, shall we? First of all, our message of the day was following Christ requires acknowledging and striving against the injustice in our world. So because it's Sanctity of Life Sunday, of course, one of the topics we discussed was abortion and trying to defend those who cannot stand up for themselves, those who cannot argue for why their life should be preserved. And of course, unborn babies certainly fall into that category. So what's something that we can do? If we're not Supreme Court justices and we can't change the laws and we're not congressmen and senators, then what can we do? And the answer is very simple. There may be not anything we can do this week on a national scale, but there's absolutely things we can do here on a local scale. So for those of us who know a lady or a girl with an unplanned pregnancy, we can offer hope, we can offer support, and we can offer to walk with her through some difficult choices. And for single moms who made the choice to have their babies live, to let their babies be born, we can offer a ton of support. I mean, single moms need all kinds of help, and Micah makes it clear taking care of single moms is a big part of what the church is supposed to be about anyways. All right, our verse today then is, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. So let us not faint, but let us work for the Lord to serve single moms. All right, we had our camp meeting today, and all kinds of excited about going to camp here in a few months. In fact, here is the information page. MFuge Summer Camp 2017. We're going to Houston Baptist University. For MFuge, it's going to be $350. It's going to be Monday, June 12th through Friday, June the 16th. $50 deposit is due here by the end of January, so we can let them know that we're coming. If you'd like one of these handy information pages, just stop by the youth room. If you didn't grab one yet, we'd be sure happy to hand you one. We'd love for you to come with us to Houston in June. All right, coming up here in a couple of Fridays from now, January the 17th is our annual Whodunit Murder Mystery. This is all kinds of good. This year we're going to do it with a little bit of an escape the room style puzzle solving. So come, bring everyone you know. And conveniently, this is located right on the weekend of Chinese New Year. So we're going to have Chinese food. We're going to eat some Chinese food and solve some mysteries. Sound good? Let's do it. All right, this here is a crazy good opportunity for us. Same kind of different as me was a book. Well, I suppose it still is a book. True story about two men, Ron Hall and Denver Moore, who got to know each other. Ron Hall is an art dealer in Fort Worth, rich guy. Denver Moore was a homeless man. They got to meet each other at the Union Gospel Mission and got to discover they weren't really all as different as they thought they were, and got to be friends. So in the process of all this, they decided they should write a book about their experience, and that book having been out for a while and done well, they decided to make a movie. And so these two gentlemen will be playing the parts of Ron and Denver, and we're going to go see it, because that's what you ought to do when they make movies about Fort Worth and Jesus. It's awesome. All right, youth worship, Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. If you have not joined us, we would love for you to. It's super cool. If you don't get the text updates already, we would love for you to keep up with what's going on with the Ridglea Baptist Youth. So just text @Ridglea to 81010, or if your phone does not like those short code numbers, you also can text @Ridglea to 206-557-6198. All right, so this morning, here's what Scott had to share with us from Matthew 6:33, and he mentioned 34 a little bit, so I went ahead and put it on the screen for us. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. All right, some of the points that I thought were great that Scott brought out during the sermon today is the contrast. But seek first. It starts with the word but. And so the previous verses, if you back up a little bit, he's talking about how other people seek after the things they need. How they seek after food and clothing and shelter. And it's not like those aren't things that we need, but we do not seek after those things like the world does. We go about meeting our needs in a much different way. And so that brings us to our second point here, the seeking. The seeking itself is ongoing. This is not by seeking God's kingdom first. That's not something that we find and then are able to check off of our list. This seeking God's kingdom and his righteousness is an ongoing project. Also, it is something that we seek first. We seek God's kingdom first before we seek the things that we need. God knows that we need all those things, but we have to seek him first. And finally, I love this verse that Scott brought out from 1 John 2:17. The world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. The way the world seeks after what it needs, I got to get mine, I got to do what I got to do to get mine, that's passing away. And that is not an attitude that will last, and that's not a desire that will last. All right, and here is our prayers for the week. Let's focus in on these. Feel free to pause as you go if you'd like to pause and pray for the things that the IMB has put up on their Twitter feed. Hospitals in India. Today is the 44th anniversary of the Bangalore Hospital in Karnataka, my apologies, state, India. Pray for the work in the hospital in 2017. Church location in Prague. The team in Baranadov, district of Prague, Czech Republic, is looking for a public location to rent for a church. Ask God to provide that location. Discipleship in East Asia. That frequently means China, although there's a few other places in East Asia that could be as well. Pray for mentoring and discipleship to be prevalent in East Asian churches so that the gospel will continue to reach future generations. So feel free to pray for those churches in Mongolia and China and Japan, and even in Southeast Asia, around Vietnam and Laos. Baptist Global Response. Pray for each blanket, coat, and tarp that the BGR distributes this winter will demonstrate Christ's love to a hurting person. And finally, ask the Lord of the harvest to send workers into his harvest field. Again, feel free to pause the video here and pray for these 5 requests for this week. All right. Well, that's all for this week. Y'all be good.